The CARES Act, passed by Congress, has several assistance options for small businesses, including loans and payroll relief. For the latest on these programs, we welcome Dan Jacobson, Market President at Western State Bank. Dan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, the Paycheck Protection Program has received a lot of attention. Can you tell us a little bit more about the program and maybe also give us the latest on how the process is going?
Sure. The Paycheck Protection Program really was designed to incent small business to keep their payroll, to keep their workers on the payroll, and is done through a loan that is forgivable if it's used for certain expenses, which would include payroll and payroll-related expenses such as employee benefits, health insurance, and the like, and then also rent, mortgage interest, and utilities. So basically, overhead costs that would house a business, and then the actual cost of the employees.
Okay, so you said that the loans may be forgiven. What kind of requirements must be met for this to happen?
Sure. So the funds, the way it works is the loan is closed, the funds are advanced, and then for an 8-week period starting on that date, the funds need to be used for payroll expenses, and then again, the rent, the mortgage interest, and the utilities. And at the end of the 8 weeks, there'll be a time when the business owner then would present documentation to show that the expenses actually went for those items. Now, one caveat is that 75% of the loan forgiveness needs to be for payroll. So, for example, if someone did a $100,000 loan and used $75,000 of that for payroll, and then the rest for, again, the rent, the mortgage interest, and the utilities, that loan would be 100% forgiven. Well, let's say they only use $60,000 for payroll instead of $75,000. There'd be a $15,000 difference there that they would have to pay back.
Okay, that's interesting. Who exactly can take advantage of this program? We hear small businesses. Who qualifies as a small business?
Sure. So the definition is provided by the SBA, and it's defined as a business that has 500 or fewer employees. And as a general rule, all businesses that hit that mark have qualified. Now, there have been a few small instances of some franchises that have not qualified, but as a general rule, if you hit that 500 or fewer employee marker, you qualify.
Now, you mentioned the Small Business Administration. What is the bank's role in this process?
Sure. The way it works is actually the bank is the one that advances the funds. So the business customer comes to the bank, submits an application. There's a standard application that's out on the treasury.gov or the SBA website, and the loan application is sent to the bank, and it's based on, again, payroll. So typically when we're making a loan, we're looking at financial information, evaluating repayment ability. In this case, we're simply looking at the payroll records, and we're determining what is the last 12 months average monthly payroll, and then we take that amount and multiply it by 2.5 times to determine what the loan amount is.
So if people are listening right now, and although it seems like this has been going on forever, it's also not been that long of a time, too, for small business owners trying to figure out what their future looks like. What's the first step for a small business owner who's maybe interested in some of these programs?
Yeah, what they need to do is gather up their payroll records. So anything that will use to support, again, that average monthly payroll amount. And so that's the main piece of information. And then again, once they have the loan, they're going to need to document the payroll and those other expenses that they've got. Okay. But the loan amount is strictly based on payroll.
Okay. Any other CARES Act programs that people should be aware of?
Well, there is something called an economic injury disaster loan, and that's another option, and that does include a $10,000 forgivable feature as well. However, that does work more like a traditional SBA loan. It does need to be paid back. The SBA and the bank would take a lien on your business assets, where on the Paycheck Protection Program, they do not. So obviously that program's been a lot more popular.
Dan, how can people get a hold of you at Western State Bank?
Sure, they can reach us at our website at westernbanks.com, or you can see the phone number on your screen there.
All right, 277-5003. Dan, thank you so much. You're a wealth of information. I appreciate your time.
All right, thanks, Lisa. Appreciate it.
Coming up next here on North Dakota Today, we are committed to helping small businesses through this time. We have one business joining us next that's ready to help you get your home ready for summer.